So a little over a year ago, I published a video talking about how we use Notion to create checklists and resources for our media team positions and our media team members. And I also gave that away as a free template that you can then download and use for your own church. This is basically an update video to that original video. So if you haven't seen that one, I would highly suggest going back and checking that one out first and then coming back here, because I'm going to go through the changes that we've made to that original template. And I'm not going to re-explain necessarily everything regarding how Notion works and how we use it. Anything that I talk about in that other video, I'm not going to go over again just to save time. So if you haven't checked that video out, please go watch that one first and then come back to this one, because this is an update to that original checklist. Over the last year, I've just continued to make changes to this original template and added new things. And so these pages have now kind of turned into a one-stop shop or central hub for all things worship and media resources. So if you're interested in checking out that new template, you want it, the link is in the description below. So once you get access to the template, this is what you'll see. We have the new template here, and then I also have the old template if you want to check that one out too. So I'm going to click into the updated checklist and resources template, and we have all the things that were there before. We have all the checklists for each position. And then basically we've revamped the resources and tutorials section. And then we added a new section called workflows and updates. And I want to go through each of those sections right now. So first, let's take a look at the resources and tutorials pages. We had a resources section in the old template, but we've kind of revamped it and we've added new things to it. So let me just walk you through what we've done here. This first resources page is more like just a general page that could be applicable to anyone on the worship or media team. So if I find a tutorial or any kind of resource that I think would be helpful to anyone on the team, then I would throw that in there when it's not really, specific to a certain position, but it might be helpful to know. So in this case, the one tutorial that I have here is tips on utilizing a planning center sheet. So I put that there, and anyone from the media team or the worship team could check that out and get some tips on how to utilize a planning center sheet. So we have a little bit more going on here in the sound page. You can see we have a couple different categories. Those are just toggles that I can open up and then see what's underneath them. So I have a couple, gain tutorials and a gain cheat sheet. Shout out to Collaborate Worship for those. Also under compression, I have a compression tutorial from Collaborate Worship and a compression cheat sheet. And underneath here, what do you think it is? Oh, it's an EQ tutorial from Collaborate Worship and a drum EQ cheat sheet. And then under here, we just have a helpful tutorial that I found that was creating an entire mix from scratch. So a lot of Collaborate Worship tutorials and resources in there. Anyway, those we have a couple categories for, but then under here, we recently upgraded our soundboard. And so I wanted to make a custom set of pages for tutorials that were specifically aimed towards using the Behringer Wing, because that's the new board that we upgraded to. And so I just kind of have a couple tutorials mapped out based on, different topics and things like that. And so now you can see kind of on this page, I've integrated some personal tutorials specifically for our team, which is this video right here. This is actually one that I recorded specifically for our guys here, showing them exactly how we do things, or just an overview of the board in this case. And then I have someone else's tutorial right there alongside it. So then if I go into input channels, again, I have another tutorial that I recorded for everyone, and then another tutorial that I recorded for everyone there too. This is kind of a combination effort. Sometimes I pull videos from YouTube that other people have posted, but sometimes I record specific videos for my team and for what we're doing here, just to keep things as direct and applicable as possible to our situation. So you can see under the workflows and live mixing section regarding Behringer Wing tutorials, you can see I have a tutorial that I put out for them on how to do a virtual sound check and setting the band's in-ears. And you can see that's something that's more of a specific workflow for us. It might differ from person to person. If I pulled a YouTube video online on how to do a virtual sound check, that process might differ in some ways. So I wanted to do a tutorial dedicated to that and then have that up there so that no one has questions about how to do a virtual sound check, that it's all laid out right there. And they can reference that, whenever they need a refresher. So moving over over to the resources page for the switcher and camera op, you can see we have a tutorial, but then underneath that, we just have literally a multi-view recording of one of Bethel's services. So I thought this was really cool to throw up there for everyone to check out and watch, because even though it's not a tutorial, it's really a great example of how a video director communicates with their camera ops, and the dynamic between those two, really just creating a great service experience for either iMag or the live stream. And I wanted to share this because I thought it would be cool and helpful for all the guys running switcher or running cameras. So now jumping over to our live stream resources, again, a room mic tutorial from Collaborate Worship, how to level broadcast mixes without over compressing, just a couple more tutorials. And again, here's just another video that I came across that was a Bethel service, and I thought it was a great mix. And again, just a video to give people an idea of, okay, this is how you can mix a live stream. This is how it can sound, to give people just an idea of what's possible. So those are good examples and resources to throw up there as well. So that's a look at the resources and tutorials pages. That's how we're using them currently. And again, as I stumble across videos that I like, that I think are helpful to people on our team, I'll grab that link and I'll throw it onto the corresponding page. So now moving on to this new section that I'm calling workflows and updates. And I really like this section because it kind of just came from an idea that I had. I was thinking, we keep making changes to our mixing workflow or our live stream workflow. And I was like, okay, I need to explain this to everyone. What I ended up doing was every time we made a change to how to operate a certain position, then I had to explain that to one volunteer, and then the next week I had to explain it to another volunteer because it was a different volunteer, and then I needed to explain. So I ended up explaining the entire update, the change that we made. I ended up explaining to about 4 or 5 people separately. And I was thinking there's got to be a better way to do this. So what I did was I recorded a video of me demonstrating the new change or update that was made. And then I uploaded that video to YouTube, and then I put it onto these Notion pages, and then I sent that link out to everyone. So everyone had an opportunity to watch an update video specifically for the position that they're working in. And then if they had any additional questions or I needed to reiterate anything when they were on the job, then I could do so. But I had already gotten most of the explaining out of the way over a quick video. So that's what this section is all about. Let's go through those pages real quick. So worship and media team updates. This was for everyone. We redid the way we configure our in-ears for our band. And so I wanted to send out an update for everyone. For the worship team, we have a monitor and chord chart update. So how we look at our chord charts and how we monitor our in-ears. Chart builder demo for a new app that we're using for those chord charts. And then a specific demo to edit your in-ear mix. That was for the whole worship band. And then if we go over to soundboard updates, you can see I have these toggles just for the months that we made these updates. So in January of this year, we had a sound check workflow and vocal effects workflow update. And you can see I have videos explaining each of those updates individually so they can go and reference those if they ever need to. And then we have a backlog of some older updates if we need those for reference, So if there's a new update for the soundboard, I'll just come in here and I will create a new toggle, and I will name it whatever month it is, and then I will name it whatever that update is. So I'll go new vocal effects workflow, which is actually a video I do need to record. We updated our vocal effects workflow and I need to make an update video. But that's basically what I'll do. And then I'll throw the video right underneath that toggle, and then we have that update. And then after people have referenced that update video, if they have any other additional questions, they can come to me or they can ask me, next Sunday or whenever. And then, again, like I said, most of that explaining, most of that communication is done once. Then I can fill in the gaps when necessary. So anyway, that's just a quick look at the updates we've made to this template. Like I said, if you want to check this template out for yourself, use it for yourself in your own church. The link is in the description below. You can go check that out. And if you download the template and are enjoying it, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear how you guys are using it, how you like it, and see what your Notion checklist and resources pages are looking like. So feel free, leave me a comment or send me an email. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you've made it this far in the video, I actually have a question for you. Are you interested in seeing more Notion training specifically for churches? How to organize your church through Notion, how we've set that up, how we organize our pages, and how we continue to use Notion on a daily basis. Over the last couple of years, we've actually used Notion a lot at our church. And really this checklist and resources page is just a small way that we use Notion at our church. If you're interested in any of that, I would love to hear from you. You know, maybe there's a bigger template that we can put out so that you can organize your entire church through Notion, or there's, you know, some kind of training we can do to help come alongside you and guide you in the direction of organizing your church through Notion. So I don't know, those are just a couple ideas that I've kind of had in the back of my mind as people have been downloading and checking out this original Notion template. Maybe there's more of an interest in Notion specifically for churches, you know, than I originally thought. If you're interested in that at all, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.